Welcome, history enthusiasts, to a journey through the captivating mysteries of ancient Greece. From legendary cities lost beneath the waves to cryptic oracles and enigmatic artifacts, we're about to explore 15 historical puzzles that continue to intrigue us today. The fall of the Minoan civilization. The Minoan civilization, one of the most brilliant civilizations of the Bronze Age, existed on the island of Crete from about 2700 to 1450 BC. With magnificent palaces, sophisticated art, and a unique writing system, the Minoans created a highly developed culture. However, the sudden collapse of this civilization around 1450 BC remains one of the greatest mysteries of ancient history, leaving scientists and historians scratching their heads to find an answer. One of the most popular hypotheses is a natural disaster. The eruption of Mount Thera, now Santorini, is believed to be one of the largest volcanic events in history, which may have caused tsunamis, ashfall, and climate change, devastating Crete. However, recent studies have suggested that the Thera eruption may have been earlier than the Minoan collapse, raising questions about its decisive role. In addition, Crete is located in a seismically active area, and earthquakes have also been considered a potential cause. Unfortunately, there is no clear evidence of a major earthquake at that time. The second hypothesis is external invasion, specifically from the Mycenaeans. Around the time of the Minoan collapse, the Mycenaeans reached the height of their power. Evidence suggests Mycenaean influence on Crete during the late Minoan period, but whether they caused the collapse remains a big question mark. In addition, internal factors cannot be ignored. Economic crisis, social unrest, or the weakening of the leadership may have contributed to the decline of the Minoan civilization. A combination of factors may have led to a systemic collapse that is difficult to attribute to a single cause. Although scientists have proposed many hypotheses, there is still no final answer to this mystery. Modern scientific and archaeological research continues to unravel these mysteries, hopefully providing satisfactory answers in the future. The legendary city of Atlantis. In ancient history, there is a story that has always aroused people's curiosity and passion for discovery. That is the legend of the city of Atlantis. First mentioned by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, Atlantis appeared as a powerful island, an advanced civilization that mysteriously disappeared under the ocean. According to Plato, Atlantis was located outside the Pillars of Hercules, which is today's Strait of Gibraltar. It was a naval power with magnificent cities, a complex canal system, and abundant resources. The people of Atlantis were described as intelligent, talented, and wealthy. They built a highly developed civilization. However, wealth and power made them arrogant and greedy, leading to devastating invasions. Zeus, angry at the arrogance of the Atlantis people, punished them with a terrible earthquake and flood, sinking the entire island to the bottom of the sea in just one day and night. Since then, Atlantis has become a symbol of a lost world, an advanced civilization that was wiped out. The existence of Atlantis has caused much controversy and attracted countless explorers, scientists, and writers. Some people believe that Atlantis was real. They have put forward many hypotheses about the location of the island, from the Mediterranean, the Atlantic, to Antarctica. Some people believe that the eruption of the volcano Thera, Santorini, may have been the origin of this legend. However, many scholars believe that Plato's story is just a metaphor, a way for him to illustrate his philosophical ideas about an ideal society and the decline of civilizations due to arrogance. They believe that Atlantis is a fictional story created to warn about moral decay and punishment from the gods. Linear B cipher. In the world of archaeology, the decipherment of the Linear B cipher is considered one of the greatest achievements of the 20th century. The writing system, used by the Mycenaeans around the 14th–12th centuries BC, remained an unsolved mystery until linguists Michael Ventris and John Chadwick succeeded in deciphering it in 1952. Linear B was found on clay tablets at archaeological sites such as Knossos and Pylos. Initially, researchers were unable to determine what language the writing system represented. However, Ventris demonstrated that Linear B recorded an ancient form of Greek, a discovery that completely changed our understanding of the history of the Greek language. Most of the deciphered Linear B inscriptions were administrative records, recording information about goods, taxes, labor allocation, and other economic activities. They provide invaluable information about the social, economic, and political organization of the Mycenaeans, revealing the existence of a complex bureaucratic system. However, Linear B still contains many unexplored mysteries. Many texts are still not fully understood, and some characters and words have not been clearly identified. Furthermore, Linear B was used primarily for administrative purposes, leaving us lacking information about other aspects of Mycenaean culture, such as literature, religion, and philosophy. The relationship between Linear B and Linear A, an undeciphered Minoan writing system, is also a subject of debate. Was Linear B a development of Linear A? Were the two writing systems related linguistically? These questions remain to be answered. The Linear B cipher is more than just a linguistic mystery. It is also a window into the past, revealing the secrets of a lost civilization. The decipherment of Linear B has provided profound insights into the Mycenaeans, but many questions remain unanswered. The mystery of Samothrace. Located on the Greek island of Samothrace, the Temple of Samothrace, or Sanctuary of the Great Gods, is an ancient temple complex that holds untold mysteries. It was once the center of a mysterious cult, where ancient religious rituals took place, many of which remain unexplained to this day. The Samothrace cult was one of the most mysterious of the ancient Greek world. Its rituals and beliefs were kept strictly secret, with only the initiates known. Historians know only that the cult worshipped chthonic gods, gods associated with the earth and the underworld. Rituals may have involved purification, rebirth, and protection from danger at sea. The initiation rites at Samothrace are said to have been complex and mysterious. Initiates had to undergo a series of trials and rituals, which may have included purification, fasting, and prayer. The purpose of these rituals was to bring protection and good fortune to the initiates, especially those who were seafaring. The temple complex at Samothrace is architecturally unique and complex. The buildings in the temple complex were built on steep and rugged terrain, creating a sacred and mysterious space. One of the most famous structures in the temple complex is the Rotunda of Arsenoi, a large circular building used for initiation ceremonies. One of the most famous sculptures found at Samothrace is the Victory of Samothrace. This statue is believed to have been erected to commemorate a naval victory. It is now on display in the Louvre Museum in France. The Temple of Samothrace was one of the most important religious sites in the ancient Greek world. The cult at Samothrace attracted initiates from all over the Greek world, including famous figures such as Herodotus. The Samothrace Temple is an important cultural heritage that provides us with profound insights into the religion and beliefs of the ancient Greeks. Although archaeologists have discovered much about the Samothrace Temple, many mysteries remain unsolved. The rituals and beliefs of the Samothrace cult remain a subject of curiosity and debate among historians. The Samothrace Temple is not only a historical monument, but also a symbol of the mysteries and sacredness of the ancient world. Oracle of Delphi. In the ancient Greek world, the Temple of Apollo at Delphi was considered the spiritual center, home to the Oracle of Delphi, also known as the Pythia. She was a priestess who was believed to be able to communicate with the god Apollo and deliver his oracles. Her oracles had a profound influence on Greek political, military, and religious life, making the Oracle of Delphi one of the most mysterious and powerful figures in ancient history. The Oracle of Delphi sat on a three-legged stool above a crack in the ground from which gas rose. It was believed that these gases put her in a trance, allowing her to receive oracles. Her oracles were considered to be the words of Apollo himself, and therefore had absolute authority. However, her oracles were often ambiguous and cryptic, requiring interpretation by the priests. This ambiguity allowed leaders and individuals to interpret the oracles in ways that suited their purposes. But it could also lead to misunderstandings and errors. The Oracle of Delphi's oracles influenced many important political and military decisions in Greek history. Leaders often turned to Delphi for advice before making important decisions, such as declaring war, founding colonies, or enacting laws. For example, her oracles played a major role in the founding of Greek colonies in the Mediterranean and in the Greco-Persian Wars. Despite its great influence, the Oracle of Delphi has also been the subject of much controversy and doubt. Some have argued that her oracles were simply ambiguous statements, interpreted in ways that favored priests or leaders. There is also doubt as to whether she truly received an oracle from Apollo, or was simply a woman influenced by the gas and fanaticism of the crowd. The truth about the Trojan War. The Trojan War, a legendary event immortalized by Homer in the Iliad, has long been a source of inspiration for writers, filmmakers, and scholars. However, whether the war actually happened, and whether the events in the Iliad accurately reflect history, remain controversial. For centuries, the Trojan War was thought to be a myth. However, in the 19th century, archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann excavated the site of Troy in Hisarlik, Turkey, and discovered the ruins of an ancient city. Subsequent excavations proved that Troy actually existed and had been destroyed and rebuilt many times. However, there is still much debate about whether these ruins actually belong to the legendary city of Troy, and whether the war described in the Iliad actually happened. The Iliad is a work of literature, not a historical chronicle. Many elements of the Iliad are mythological, such as the intervention of gods in human events. However, some historians believe that the Iliad may have been based on a real historical event, and that Homer added mythological elements to make the story more interesting. According to the Iliad, the Trojan War began when Paris, Prince of Troy, kidnapped Helen, wife of King Menelaus of Sparta. However, some historians believe that the real cause of the war may have been a trade or political dispute between the Mycenaeans and the Trojans. Archaeological evidence shows that Troy was destroyed around the time the Trojan War is believed to have taken place. This further supports the theory of a real war. The excavation of the Troy site at Hisarlik has proven that Troy did exist. Excavations have uncovered the remains of a fortified city, with thick walls and impressive architecture. Archaeologists have also found evidence of a war, such as arrowheads and weapons. In short, although there is still much debate, most historians and archaeologists agree that a Trojan War probably occurred. However, many mysteries still surround the war, such as the real cause of the war and the accuracy of the Iliad. The mystery of Antikythera mechanism. The Antikythera mechanism, an ancient device recovered from a shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera in 1901, has amazed scientists with its complexity and sophistication. Considered the world's oldest analog computer, the device dates back to around the 1st or 2nd century BC and remains shrouded in mystery to this day. The Antikythera mechanism consists of a complex system of gears, dials, and hands, crafted with incredible precision. Such gear technology did not reappear in Europe until the 14th century, making the existence of the Antikythera mechanism particularly remarkable. The construction of such a complex device at that time required extensive knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and mechanical engineering. Recent studies have confirmed that the Antikythera mechanism was used to calculate and display astronomical positions, including the sun, moon, and planets. It could also predict solar and lunar eclipses, as well as other astronomical events. It could also be used to track the Olympic cycle. However, there is still debate about whether it was used for educational, astrological, or navigational purposes. How the Antikythera mechanism was built remains a mystery. Scientists are still trying to figure out how the ancient Greeks were able to build such a complex device with such precision. Finding clues involves who created the device and how they acquired the knowledge needed to build it. The origins of the mechanism are also uncertain. Many researchers believe it may have been built by scientists in Rhodes, an island famous for its talented astronomers and engineers in ancient times. The disappearance of the Library of Alexandria. The Library of Alexandria, a symbol of erudition and knowledge in the ancient world, once housed priceless collections of literature, science, and philosophy. Founded in the 3rd century BC, it attracted scholars from all over the world, becoming a leading center of culture and learning. However, its disappearance was a huge loss to human knowledge and remains a controversial mystery to this day. There is no consensus on the exact date or cause of the library's destruction. Various theories have been proposed, each with its own historical context. Some believe that Julius Caesar started the fire that destroyed the library during the Battle of Alexandria in 48 BC. Others blame the Romans, Christians, or Muslim armies who caused conflicts and destruction in the region. Whatever the cause, the loss of the Library of Alexandria was an undeniable tragedy. The library housed a vast collection of papyrus scrolls, perhaps numbering in the hundreds of thousands. These scrolls included the works of ancient writers, poets, scientists, and philosophers, many of which were lost forever. We may never know the full extent of the knowledge that was lost, but it is certain that it was a huge loss to the development of Western civilization. The mystery of Alexander the Great's death. Alexander the Great, one of the greatest military leaders in history, died mysteriously at the age of 32 in Babylon in 323 BC. His sudden death has sparked much controversy and speculation, and to this day, the cause of his death remains a mystery. There are many different theories about the cause of Alexander's death. The most widely accepted theory is that he died of illness. Historians have suggested a variety of illnesses that could have caused his death, including malaria, typhoid, pneumonia, and liver disease. The stress of Alexander's long military campaigns, combined with his excessive drinking, may have weakened his immune system, leaving him susceptible to illness. However, there are also theories that Alexander was poisoned. Some historians have suggested that he may have been poisoned by one of his close associates, who feared that he would continue his military campaigns. It is also possible that his death was the result of a complex conspiracy involving several people. The lack of clear records of Alexander's final days has made it difficult to determine the cause of his death with certainty. Records of his death are inconsistent, and many records have been lost or destroyed. The lack of an autopsy also makes it difficult to determine the cause of his death. Alexander's death marked the end of an era. His vast empire quickly disintegrated after his death, and this led to a period of war and unrest. The mystery surrounding his death has continued to fascinate historians and the public for centuries. While we may never know for sure what caused Alexander's death, the mystery continues to inspire us to learn about his life and work. Alexander the Great is a complex and controversial historical figure, but there is no denying that he had a huge impact on the world. The truth about the Greek gods. Greek mythology, with its colorful stories of gods, heroes, and monsters, has been imprinted in the minds of many generations. From the majestic Mount Olympus to the exciting adventures of demigods, the world of Greek mythology has always contained an irresistible appeal. However, the question is, did the Greek gods really exist, and how did they influence the lives of the ancient Greeks? Greek mythology is a system of stories and legends about gods, heroes, and mythical creatures. The Greek gods are said to reside on Mount Olympus, and they have the power to control different aspects of the world, from nature to humans. They have very human-like personalities and behaviors, with emotions such as love, hate, jealousy, and anger. They intervene in human lives, bestowing blessings or punishments, and they are often the center of religious rituals and festivals. The influence of Greek mythology on the lives of the ancient Greeks was profound. They believed that the gods controlled their fate, and they tried to please the gods through religious rituals and moral actions. Greek mythology also inspired art, literature, and philosophy. Stories about gods and heroes were told in literary works such as the Iliad and the Odyssey, and they were portrayed in sculpture and painting. Greek philosophers also used mythology to explore questions about the nature of man and the universe. However, it is important to recognize that Greek mythology is not history. It is a system of beliefs and values, passed down orally and in writing over many generations. Although there is no scientific evidence that the Greek gods actually existed, this does not diminish the value of Greek mythology. It is an important part of the world's cultural heritage, and it continues to inspire us today. The mystery of the Kouroi statues. Kouroi, nude male sculptures from the archaic period of ancient Greece, have fascinated historians and art scholars for centuries. However, their true purpose and meaning remain a mystery that has yet to be fully resolved. Kouroi are typically large, carved from marble, and depict a young nude man standing upright, with one leg forward. They share common features such as a rigid posture, a still face, and styled hair. They appeared during the archaic period of Greek art, from approximately the 7th to the 5th century BC, and have been found in various locations throughout Greece, including temples, cemeteries, and public areas. There are many theories about the purpose and meaning of koroi. Some researchers believe that they may have been used as cult statues, representing gods or heroes. Many koroi statues have been found in cemeteries, suggesting that they may have been used as memorial statues for the deceased. Other koroi statues have been found in temples, suggesting that they may have been offerings to gods. Koroi statues may also have been symbols of the ancient Greek ideal of male beauty and perfection. In addition, there are similarities between the ancient Greek koroi statues and those of the ancient Egyptians, especially in the proportions of the body. However, many mysteries still surround the koroi statues. We do not know for sure the identities of the people they were sculpted for, and whether they were real people. The reason why the koroi statues were carved nude remains a mystery. The style of koroi statues changed over time, and researchers are still trying to better understand these changes. The truth about Athenian democracy. Athenian democracy, which was founded in the 5th century BC, is often hailed as the world's first form of democracy. However, a deeper look into its history reveals that democracy was not as ideal as it seemed. Athenian democracy was a form of direct democracy, in which citizens participated directly in decision-making through the people's assembly, ecclesia. They voted on laws, policies, and other important issues. However, citizenship in Athens was severely restricted. Only adult males born to Athenian citizens were considered citizens and had the right to participate in politics. Women, slaves, and foreigners, metics, were excluded. Some positions were filled by lot, while others were elected. This system was intended to ensure that every citizen had the opportunity to participate in government. In practice, however, the wealthy and influential often had a greater say. They could use their wealth and status to influence political decisions. Athenian democracy often experienced periods of instability and conflict. The decisions of the People's Assembly could be influenced by emotions and crowd manipulation. This led to poor decisions and negative consequences. The exclusion of women, slaves, and foreigners was a major limitation of Athenian democracy. The majority of the population had no right to participate in decision-making, which raised questions about the representativeness of the government. Although in theory all citizens were equal, in practice the wealthy and influential often had a greater say. The mysteries of the pre-Socratic philosophers. The pre-Socratic philosophers, who lived before Socrates, around the 6th to 5th centuries BC, laid the foundation for Western philosophy by coming up with groundbreaking ideas about the universe and man. However, because many of their works have been lost, it is difficult to understand their thoughts, creating a fascinating mystery. The pre-Socratic philosophers were interested in understanding the nature of the universe, the origin of all things, and the laws that govern the natural world. They tried to explain natural phenomena with natural causes, rather than relying on mythological explanations. They believed that there was a single fundamental principle that made up all things, and they proposed different principles, such as water, air, fire, and atoms. The pre-Socratic philosophers had different views about the universe and man. This diversity created a lively debate, contributing to the development of philosophy. However, the study of pre-Socratic philosophy is difficult, because most of their works have been lost. We only know their ideas through excerpts cited in the works of later philosophers and historians. Due to the lack of information, it is difficult to understand the ideas of pre-Socratic philosophers. Researchers have to rely on brief and incomplete excerpts, which can lead to different interpretations. In addition, later philosophers, such as Plato and Aristotle, have had a great influence on how we understand pre-Socratic philosophers. This can lead to us viewing pre-Socratic philosophers through the lens of later philosophers. Despite the difficulties in studying, pre-Socratic philosophy is still of great importance. They laid the foundation for Western philosophy, introducing questions and ideas that later philosophers continued to explore. They also contributed to the development of science by providing natural explanations for natural phenomena. Despite their many mysteries, the pre-Socratic philosophers remain important figures in the history of philosophy. Their ideas continue to inspire us to learn about the universe and humanity. They were pioneers in the exploration of thought, laying the foundation for the development of Western philosophy. Facts about the ancient Olympic Games. The ancient Olympic Games, held in Olympia, Greece, were an important sporting and religious event that took place every 4 years from the 8th century BC to the 4th century AD. However, many aspects of the Games remain a mystery to historians. The exact origins of the Olympic Games remain a matter of debate. Different legends claim that they were founded by Heracles or Pelops. The evolution of the Games from a local event to a pan-Greek event is also not fully understood. The Olympic Games were closely linked to ancient Greek religion, especially the worship of Zeus. The rituals and beliefs associated with the Games, such as animal sacrifices and sacred oaths, remain a mystery to historians. While we know that the Olympic Games had strict rules and regulations, many specific details remain unclear. For example, we do not know for sure all the penalties for cheating or rule violations. Women were not allowed to participate in the Olympic Games, but they had their own sporting events, such as the Heraean Games. However, the role of women in the Olympic Games and other sporting events of ancient Greece remains a subject of debate. The Olympic Games were discontinued in the 4th century AD by the Roman Emperor Theodosius I. However, the exact reasons for this decision remain a mystery. Mysteries of pre-Greek civilizations. Before the rise of the brilliant ancient Greek civilization, Greece witnessed the rise and fall of many pre-Greek civilizations, which remain a mystery to archaeologists. One of the most prominent pre-Greek civilizations was the Cycladic civilization, which flourished on the Cyclades Islands in the Aegean Sea from around 3200 to 2000 BC. This civilization is famous for its exquisite marble sculptures, especially abstract human figures. However, the purpose and meaning of these works are still a subject of debate. Next came the Minoan civilization, which flourished on the island of Crete from around 2700 to 1450 BC. This civilization is famous for its magnificent palaces, sophisticated art, and the yet-to-be-deciphered Linear A writing system. The sudden collapse of this civilization remains a great mystery. Finally, there is the Mycenaean civilization, which flourished on the Peloponnese Peninsula from about 1600 to 1100 BC. This civilization is famous for its fortified citadels, art of war, and the deciphered Linear B writing system. The decline of this civilization may have been related to invasions or climate change. The relationship between pre-Greek civilizations and their origins is still a matter of debate. Were they indigenous or came from elsewhere? The causes of the collapse of pre-Greek civilizations are still unclear. Hypotheses include natural disasters, invasions, climate change, and internal weakness. Many aspects of pre-Greek culture and beliefs remain a mystery due to a lack of evidence. Although still shrouded in mystery, the pre-Hellenic civilizations laid the foundation for the development of ancient Greek civilization. They left behind a rich cultural and artistic legacy that contributed to the diversity of Mediterranean culture. Studying these civilizations helps us better understand the formation and development of ancient Greek civilization. Want to learn something new every day? This channel is for you. Subscribe to get the latest tutorials and lessons.